Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Prospect Nation 101. My name is Chris Robbins, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick breakdown of Tracy Walker and what we expect that he can do for the Detroit Lions organization next season. So, unfortunately, as you guys can see here, there is a lot of full game tape, which is not exactly ideal. So what I'm going to end up having to do is when we get to that portion of this, we will be pulling some highlight tape up just so that we can get a much quicker look of what he can do and his ceiling and how he can contribute in different things that he does well and that he can bring positively impact the Lions next year. So first off, we're going to go back to the database here and check out his measurables. He is right here, got taken 82 overall. He is listed at 5'10 and 7'8", 86. That is a little strange, but okay, I guess. Everywhere else I've seen him has him listed in the 6'2", 6'1" range, so maybe the official measurements are a lot smaller. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he seems like he's 6'1". I've seen other places he's listed at 6'2". I wonder what this page has him as here. This page has him at 6'1" as well. But anyway, yeah, from what I've seen otherwise, he has pretty good measurables, pretty good size, and he plays like it. So that should be exciting to see. He is a fifth-year senior, so he's a little bit older, also comes with a little bit more experience as well. In fact, he did start as a freshman, so he has 4 years of starting experience, which is very rare. And I think we get to see some of that later on his tape, and his awareness, field vision, football IQ, things of that nature. Just from coming with time and coming against playing against good teams. So anyway, a little bit of background here. He is from Georgia, as a lot of Lions players seem to be nowadays. He was originally a 2-star recruit, sports management, redshirt as a freshman. Started 8 games, 10 games, 12 games, as well as the senior year. I believe he started all of them. Cousin played football at Middle Tennessee. Another cousin of his is actually Darius Slay, who y'all should probably be very familiar with by now. Has 5 sisters and a brother, member of the National Honor Society, and he played in the East-West Shrine Game, which is how the Lions found out and heard about him. So, I guess he was one of the standouts of the Shrine Game. So if you guys definitely want to go back and check out some of that stuff and see what he was able to do there, that's probably going to be your place to go if you're looking for a specific source, I guess, as well as the Tamu game. If you guys want to check, I don't see it on here, but if you can find the Louisiana Lafayette versus Texas A&M game, watch some Tracy Walker of that. Definitely go ahead and do that. So with that said, first what I'm going to do is, because there's no actual real full game tape, I'm going to go through the latest line report with you guys from NFL.com. He was graded as a 5.5, basically, okay. Combine results here: 4.5, 140, 14 reps on the bench, 33-inch vert, 119 broad, 7-second 3-cone, 4.28, 20, 11.27, 60. He stood out since he was young because he was the only boy among 6. Redshirt freshman. He earned freshman All-Sun Belt honors. Seeking his productivity there. Led the Raging Cajuns in interceptions in 2016. He started all 12 as a senior with 97 tackles, including 13 all-conference. So he was projected in the 5th. Of course, we know now that we would take him in the 3rd. A couple of picks ahead of where Carolina wanted him. I believe they wanted him at 85, and we took him at 82. So we took him in at A little bit higher than expected, but probably pretty good value still. Safety with a long, slender build who has good linear speed, but can struggle against as an open field tackler and when isolating oh my, that is not accurate, but okay. Walker's long arms and explosion numbers in testing will be very intriguing to teams who covet measurables and traits from their defensive backs. His size and body type could put him in line for a test run as a bump and run corner for teams with a rangy free safety over the top, like the Lions have right now in Glover Quinn. So basically what he's saying is that in some sets he can line up as a corner, and in some sets he can line up as a safety. Which is basically kind of what we have now in Quandre. If the 6'1", 6'2" range is accurate in his size, then we're probably talking a bigger version of Quandre Diggs. If we're talking the 5'10" or 5'11" or whatever he was, then being accurate, then you're probably looking more at a Quandre Diggs clone replacement type guy. So strength sees long arms with adequate range over the top. Opportunistic when he gets a shot. In production, he has 8 picks. Uses length and leaping ability as disruptive tools to challenge catches. Forceful hitter in the open field, his frame should be able to accommodate more size, and we'll see that in the highlight tape a lot. Won't turn down opportunities to send a message, so again, very aggressive and physical. We get to see that a lot. Good feel for run fix near the line of scrimmage. Leverages ball carries against the sideline with patient angled pursuit. And he's quick to punch and separate and stay clean as a tackler. Weaknesses, missing instincts to stay a step ahead in coverage. Needs to see it. Okay, whatever that means. Takes time to build up speed out of transitions. Okay, there's a couple of plays where I would disagree, but alrighty then. Slow to open and sprint when challenged over the top. Okay, that might be as a corner. Hips are tight and won't swing open freely, again, probably as a corner. Lacks agility for quick recoveries when he steps out of position. Okay, I mean, I see long distance speed, so we'll see. Steps slow to diagnose and trigger against the run from high safety. He can diagnose the passing concepts, though, and we'll see a couple of clips of that in the highlight tape. We'll need additional play strength for the next level, I guess. I mean, that's not something that's too hard to develop in the weight room. Hickson slides as a tackler. I actually kind of like his tackling form. He wraps up a lot, wrapping roll. Since this house is really long and has coverage ability, better off being hugged up with run supporter and coverage. Like to see him get reps as a press corner, according to an AFC team. So again, that is the analyst's opinion. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually just going to click on whatever game here. I'm going to pull up the highlight reel, and then you guys can see, just based on that, what you guys think. So, okay then. Back. Yeah, so let's just go in here. Tracy Walker. You know what? Let's just type in his name and see what comes up. Okay, so I already know which one I wanted to see. Just making sure that nothing's come out over the last day or so. Yep, doesn't look like anything new, so we should be good with just this. So as you guys can see, over 4 years, he has 9 picks, 276 tackles. He is number 23, by the way. So if you guys are looking for him ahead of the play, brings him down very nicely over there, right here. Now, I'm going to start actually by slowing these down, first off. Especially with it being a highlight reel, that might help a little bit. So what we're going to start here is going through this play. I'm going to particularly focus on the ones where there's kind of an all 22 and you can see the whole field. He is number 23 in white, as you guys can tell by the result of the play here. This is against Shea Patterson, I believe. And he's obviously in zone. You can tell because he's watching the quarterback and he's off. Again, does a great job of watching the quarterback's eyes, trying to read the play. Sees the quarterback read over to his guy here, so he's starting to cut out in front, make sure that he doesn't get beat to the inside of the field. Nice job of staying disciplined, I'll say, but yet still being able to limit his receiver's motion without getting interference calls. And then right here, a little bit of a pullback, obviously doesn't get caught, just steps right in front of him. Easy pick. Also, nice little spin move. I believe he has some return ability too. He's had a few nice interception returns over his career in Louisiana. 23 right here. And you see him come up for the run play. And bam. Lowers the tag, which isn't obviously something that's ideal. Might get called for a penalty at the next level. But nonetheless makes the tackle. And again, he's very willing to play physical. If I remember right. Oh, I guess they don't. So this is actually him on Christian Kirk here. And unfortunately, you don't see him because of the camera angle. But he's actually mirroring Christian Kirk quite well in this play. I've seen this from the side angle. He getting his hands and deflecting the pass in the red zone. So one of his specialties I've noticed from watching some of his film is his red zone ability. And comes up. Easily avoids the blocker. I love how he just gets this blocker right off of him. Very, very smoothly, and he just completely avoids the block to make this tackle. Tackle on the pull, and he just completely avoids them and makes the play for a tackle for loss. Again, single high here. And does a nice job of wrapping and rolling. I really like his tackling technique. And that's in there. Obviously, he gets the pick, but so he's starting out on the slot guy, right? And what we begin to realize is that this is zone, especially with these two deeps. And then look here, he just sits on it. He does a great job of covering his guy through the route. And then right there, he just sits on it, converts over, goes to cover Christian Kirk instead. And it's an easy pick. That's a replay, by the way. That's just a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes and following the path of the ball. And again, you can see him the whole way through on this one too. So he's going to start out here in the box and just shoots through the hole, makes an easy tackle, and then wraps and rolls to secure it. Make sure you can't get free. You'll see it from the other view here. Very consistent tackler, doesn't miss a lot. Oh, I love this play. So this is actually one of my favorite plays that I've seen from him. And this is one of the plays that gets me really excited, is you're going to see him start out on this play right here. If you're looking for the mouse, you see the Raging Cajun logo. It's about the 50-yard line, the single high safety here, right? So watch what he does. Alright, so he's starting out to the right of the hashes. And then look at that speed and range. I mean, that's literal sideline to sideline speed. And he's starting this off at, what, 131? Yeah, this play starts at exactly 131. Halfway across the field in 3 seconds. and then covers the full length of the field in 5. Within 5 seconds, he traveled from 3/4 of the right side to literally the sideline. That is insane ranging speed. Especially for a single high safety, having that kind of ranging pursuit is incredible. And what I find impressive as well about this whole play is the motor and the ability to recognize that he has the ability to make this play. And that's a screen, and he's just able to come across and then lay it. And you'll see a different angle of it, I think. Oh, nope, guess not. There's another angle of it they show too, and that hit on the sideline at the end of that play is big. Like, he literally flattened the guy out. So, again, just very nice. And oh, there's the other view. Yeah, okay, that is the same play. I just got confused for a second. So again, we see him start out all the way over the top of the play here. And he just runs over and BAM! Lowers the shoulder, completely flattens him. That is aggressiveness. That is physicality. That is wanting to embrace the physicality of football. I mean, this dude plays like a linebacker at safety. It's amazing. I love his willingness to be aggressive. Another favorite play of mine. Watch this play here, right? So we know he's 23. We see him lining up at the right edge here. I'm pointing out when he gets there. We see him lining up right here on this right edge along the tight end, I believe. Obviously, this is a goal line package here, right? And within 2 yards. Bam! Gets around the edge, explosive first step, and then look at that recovery speed to make a tackle for loss. That is incredible speed. I mean, keep in mind, this is not half speed, right? If I were to turn this up to full speed for a second, just so you guys can see how quick this actually is. I look at that bursting explosion in quickness to be able to make that play behind the line of scrimmage. That is incredibly fast. So I'm really excited to see how this guy's speed and bursting acceleration play, especially his recovery speed and makeup speed. And you'll see it here from the offensive view. Again, this is still in half speed, but he gets off that ball so quick, reads the handoff, and he's one of the first guys there for a tackle despite coming all the way around the play. It's absolutely amazing. I believe this is him right here. Reads the option nicely, reads the pitch, and then immediately swallows up the ball carrier. Easy play. And he finishes. He brings him down. Bob McClain at his press conference talked about how he wants guys who finish plays and play the full duration of the snap from whistle to whistle, from snap to whistle, I mean. And this guy, I mean, as you've seen so far, I would say, clearly does that. I mean, you see that with Ragnow. When I do the carry-on breakdown, you'll see that with him. You'll see that with Tyrell Crosby. I mean, these guys are all finishers who play the full duration of the play. I love that about these guys. That's why I'm so in love with this Jeff. He's the play. Again, just does a really nice job of getting off his block and then finishes with a nice physical tackle. Here's the other view of it here. Option play. Tight end comes out the block, gets off very quickly, and bam, finishes with a tackle. Starting right here is the free. Comes across in zone as he reads the play. And then again, another fantastic play on his part. Watch where he starts this play, right? So he's starting this from almost the numbers. In fact, it's literally almost at the arrow at the 40, right? And then you see this kid's speed and long distance speed. I mean, this is like track caliber speed here. He completely chases down this receiver in open space. And that is incredible pursuit speed. Bam! Just lowers the boom. Starts out here. In fact, I'll actually go a little bit farther back so we can see the full. It starts off almost on the edge, almost in the box linebackerish position here. And he sees the throw and bam! Just lowers the shoulder. Off screen here. And then bam! Oof. Oh, that's actually him at corner this time. Okay. So here we go. He's lined up at the top corner here. So right here at the top of the screen, lined up actually as an outside press corner. And bam, physical within the 5-yard limit. Oh, no, wrong guy. Lined up at the slot. My bad. So he's actually lined up here, I believe. It's kind of hard to tell because you can't see numbers. Yep. Again, this just bump. Runs, chases. Long as he can get his head around if he's going to be playing man cover corner. But he does a great job of staying in phase with the receiver here the whole way through the play and then getting his hands in between the ball carrier or the receiver's hands and his body to try and separate the ball from the body. I really like that. It's very technically sound at corner too. Again, to the left of the screen here. Stays on the slant receiver. Just a little pitch to the halfback, and then you get to see his distance speed again. And his ability to cover ground in pursuit. And he just wraps and rolls. So smooth. He's such a consistently reliable tackler. Again, very patient. I like that too. He's not overly aggressive in pursuit angles, which is kind of nice, at least on highlight film. And he does a nice job of staying patient, waiting for the ball carrier to come to him when necessary so that he doesn't get completely juked out of his shoes either. Lined up on the left edge here. And he's so strong in his gaps as well, which is impressive for a safety. He has a good, technically sound gap awareness to his game also. This does a very nice job of playing the receiver tight, making sure he doesn't come out with it. And he also does a great job of coming off of his guy as well to get in on that play. There he is here. And then bam, obviously a one-on-one. And he's winning that every time. I believe he is right here. Yep, because this is play he gets his pick. And he's just casually staying with them, and then just so smoothly gets around him at the last second to make this pick. And I think you'll see it from another angle. But he's so, I want to call it blanketing in his coverage, because he's not going to, like, absolutely knock a guy over before the play starts either, so he's disciplined enough. And you see that here, right? Like, he's not overly grabby, he just keeps him close, and he just slides right in front of him. Very fluid. I believe that's him at single high. Yep. And he's just going to follow up and then catch the deflected pick. And again, you see that distance speed. Like, this guy might not be insanely quick first step, which I still think he is. He has that ability to be. But he just got heck of distance speed. Again, just over the top. And undercuts the route. Easy interception versus UK. And one thing, too, that Quinn noted is competition, right? So even though this kid plays in the Sun Belt, which is not exactly a good conference, they're still playing SEC schools. We've seen versus Ole Miss, we've seen versus Kentucky. In fact, his best game was probably Texas A&M versus Christian Kirk. Up to, I believe, like 24 yards in man coverage. So, bam. And again, I talked earlier about how he's just so sounding his gaps, right? So his play, 59 should be on the inside a little bit more. 23, our guy Walker here, is clearly in this gap, right? So he gets inside, takes on the O-lineman. So Walker just fills up that gap so smoothly, aggressively closes it, and finishes the play. Again, just so quick to the outside in pursuit speed. Wrap and roll, easy tackle, not gonna miss. 23 right over here on the back side of this play. And he wrecks this, right? That is great field vision and awareness on his part to recognize that the quarterback kept that ball. And you'll see it originally from this first angle here, right? So here's our dude Walker here, right? At the safety spot. Now, initially he gets caught moving over like the whole team does, right? However, he sees when this quarterback starts to boot, his eyes are on the quarterback still. And he quickly changes direction on that step. And because of his pursuit speed, he's still able to come across and make a big hit on the QB rolling out. Play here, again, nice first step to come up. Easy one-on-one tackle, and he's not getting away. He's down. Once he's wrapped up, he's not going anywhere. I mean, this dude sticks to him like glue when he tackles. And again, a very similar play. Just gets there and he wraps and rolls. He's not getting anywhere when he gets hands on you. Fundamentally sound football. Same thing there. Just once he gets there, he's there. Bam. Wrap, roll, down. Comes across here and bam! I believe he's actually this. Yep. So he's going to come over here from almost a higher safety look, right? A free spot. And he just zooms over to cover this guy. And bam! I mean, his name might be Tracy Walker, but you ain't gonna be walking well after you play against him, my man. Like, oh my goodness, this dude just flattens people. But yet, on the other hand, when he needs to make a conservative tackle to just get you to the ground, he does that so well also. Which is so nice to see because a lot of these big time hitters nowadays, I mean, they hit where you get past them, right? I mean, I think, well, maybe not necessarily with Chancellor, you don't see that. I think Chancellor can tackle well too. But I mean, I think, I want to say Eric Reed does that a lot, where uh, either he hits you or he misses you, right? Whereas with Walker, not only can he, right, but he can also tackle you and just get you down to the ground. So he's going to come right here from the high safety spot and come down and make this play and make sure he falls. and he's down. So yes, he's such a physical hitter, but he tackles, and that's what makes him so appealing. And he has the pursuit speed to be able to catch up to anyone, right? Again, wrap and roll. Just very, very solid fundamental tackler. Stays patient, and again, his patience here proves worthy. Because he can stay patient, right? He has the ability to motor in pursuit and the speed in pursuit, both, to be able to make plays, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to be able to stay patient here, right? And he sees that this guy is on the swing route, right? So he can make this play on 12 if he has to, underneath, but he's almost in a zone play here, right? Where he has to be able to cover this whole grass, right? So look at all this grass that he's covering here. And that's how much you can trust this guy, and that's how much Louisiana Lafayette does trust this guy in space. Is to be able to cover all of this ground. So obviously he's stuck in man on him. But I mean, you're expecting this guy to be able to cover from hash to sideline in open space. That's what your expectation is. That's not what he can do. That's not what you're hoping for. That's what you are expecting of him to do on this play. And look at that. He does it. He gets his hands on him. He wraps and rolls and he brings him down to the ground for a loss. Single high safety here. And again, quick first step, quick awareness, and then just gets his hands on him, he's down. He is not missing tackles. Again, we get to see him come down from high safety and then just lower the boom on the quarterback. When he's squared up, he can lower the boom. Now, of course, if he needed to just tackle, say this quarterback's trying to elude him or whatever, he could change his direction enough to be able to just make a conservative tackle and wrap him up and bring him down to the ground. But he realizes right here, actually a little bit earlier than that, he realizes at this point here, he's starting to slow up a little bit. And then right here, he takes a big first step. He realizes that he's able to lower the boom on this guy, right? He's starting to slow down a little bit. He's probably not going to be able to juke him out. And then bam, he explodes and then just lowers the hammer. That was actually played earlier on in the thing, I think. He just undercut the route from the UK QB. So sounding his gap in red zone. I mean, one thing that Quinn specifically talked about again and again is red zone. And that's also a key part of Patricia defense, right? Patricia at New England is known for in his whole career actually in New England has been played based around playing bend don't break defense. And his red zone defense is always number one, number two, number three, number one, number two every single year. What makes him so effective as a defensive coach is his red zone defense. And it's because of people like Tracy Walker who are able to play such effective defense in red situations, right? So you see him here. This is a huge hole, right? This offensive line does a nice job of opening up this hole. But what they fail to account for is our dude here, number 23, Tracy Walker, who is going to have to change his number, by the way. Just accounts for this huge gap, and he's able, in this short yardage situation, to be able to come on, wrap this dude up. Watch this tackle. Just wraps him up and brings him down to the ground. Make sure he can't break this tackle and score. And that is elite red zone defense. Same thing here. Gets his hands on him, brings him down to the ground. There's no way you're making that tackle or miss. Walker, same thing here. Patient, finds the ball carrier, hits, Gets his hands on him and brings him down to the ground. Single high here against Tulane. Finds the ball carrier and then bam, just flattens him like pancakes. Slipped a little bit here, which is why I'm a little bit more wanting him to play more safety, in my opinion, plus his range over the top and ability to cover green rather than people. I think he'll play a little bit better at safety at the next level. So here he's trying to play a little bit more man on this guy, and you see he still has the T-step. He's still explosive out of that pure step, which is actually plays good at safety as well. But he stumbles a little bit here, and yet he still has the recovery to be able to make that up and knock that ball loose, incomplete. So he has the ability to play man coverage, but I honestly personally prefer him at safety, and I think that that's what he'll play better at. The guy makes the play on the ball. In fact, I actually think he caught that. I think that was a pick. 23 right here. And again, patience, right? Just so patient in his assignment, right? So he sees that this is a screen underneath, right? This is, I think, a bubble screen. Yeah, this is a bubble screen in a 3 wide set. What he's doing here is he's at the safety spot. He's staying patient, right? He knows that his assignment here is to cover this middle of the field. So what he decides to do here is they change this up, right? It looks like they're almost in a zone. So this dude here takes the screen receiver, and it's his responsibility to cover this underneath route. But what our man Tracy does here is he sees that this isn't a 100% easy screen call, right? He sees this quarterback is looking at this receiver, which he happens to be closest to. So what he adjusts, and instead of coming downhill to make a play on the screen, he comes across the field to make a play on this number 19 kid, undercuts the route to get this interception. That is field vision, that is patience, that is football IQ, that is reading the quarterback's eyes, which is especially, I mean, something that Glover Quinn, we see that a lot with. And this is why I compare this to a Glover Quinn, Devin McCourty type kid, right? I mean, you see a lot of the same skills. But yet, when it is a screen pass, right, you see that on this play, he also has the ability to make the play on the screen because he can still get downhill so quickly and make a smooth, easy tackle on a wrapping roll. Plus, he did a nice job of getting off the block and an even better job of forcing the fumble. I think they show another view of this. Nope. Again, just another job of just being able to stay in phase so effectively with his receiver and make a play on the football. Ball tracking in the air. So, with that, thanks again, guys, for joining. Hopefully, there will be more tape to come out on him over the next couple of weeks and months and things like that. And we'll be able to get our hands on some film of him at training camp. But yeah, from what I've been able to see so far, maybe we can even cut some things up and pinpoint some full game film spots and break down some certain plays and things that we like and don't in that manner as well over the course of the off season. And yeah, man, I mean, at least from the quick look side of things here, I'm really loving what I'm seeing from this kid, and he has a lot of positive traits that I think will really be able to contribute as early as day one for the Detroit Lions organization next year. And especially having a guy here like Glover Quinn, who he plays a lot like. I think he's a lot more physical than Glover is, but from a coverage perspective, from a range perspective, from a pursuit perspective, from a motor perspective, there's a lot of similarities in that back end side that are similar to Glover Quinn. On the other hand, he has a lot of those things in the box downhill that play a lot like almost Jared Davis in some ways. I would say more Miles Killebrew to be more of a secondary type guy, but he has basically that Glover Quinn backfield mentality. We got that Miles Killebrew downhill mentality. So I'm really excited to see how Patricia can mold this kid into a day one player, right? We saw him in the red zone, we saw him in short yardage, we saw him recognize gaps and be able to fill in gaps with those gap integrity plays. I really think that this kid was not a reach as much as people think, and he should be able to, as a third round player, contribute maybe in rotational sets a little bit more. I don't think he's going to come out and play 75% snaps or anything like that day one, but this kid is a 30, 40, 25% snap guy from day one, and we should expect to see him a lot in red zone looks. Right. So I mean, you can play him in nickel in red zone. You can play him in dime in red zone. You can play him as an in the box Patrick Chung type safety from day one. And honestly, I think that this is the kind of guy that Patricia wishes Jordan Richards was last year. He played Jordan Richards a lot more down the stretch, and he ended up suffering a little bit in the Super Bowl because of that, because he was their best. Well, at least he thought that he was their best man cover safety. And honestly, this is the kind of guy that the Patriots were lacking last year. And I think that that's part of the reason why Patricia and Quinn were so aggressive in getting this kid, even though he was thought it was a fifth round value. They went out and got their man in the third round. Is because this is exactly what he wanted last season and he didn't have. And he said, okay, this is the type of guy that I need to run my defense effectively to get us to win a Super Bowl ring in Detroit City. And this is what he's getting. So if he can round out a couple of things, obviously this was a highlight reel, so we didn't get to see a lot of the negative side of things either. But if there's a base here, right? I mean, you're getting a very high floor guy like Quinn likes, but you got the specific physical traits and the mental traits that Patricia likes. So this is a perfect marriage of the two, and why I am so excited to see this kid in spring camp. I think that this kid is the next Kenny Galladay type player for us. Guy who comes out of a small school, not really heralded, guy that maybe a lot of people, pundits, never really knew, never really heard of, haven't even really watched. And he just bam, comes out of nowhere, takes the league by storm next year, becomes a cult hero, knocks people the crap off their feet. Anyway, with that said, again, we'll be able to cover a lot more of this kid when specific game tape and things like that come out, and maybe I'll be able to pinpoint some more plays and stuff like that as time goes on. But of course, there is a lot to like about this kid from an upside standpoint, from a floor standpoint, and I'm really excited to see him at the next level. So with that said, thanks again guys for joining us today. I know this was just a quick look, but hopefully we can go a little bit more in depth with him in a part 2 maybe. And this hopefully gave you guys a little bit of an idea on why I love him so much and what I expect of him to be able to do from day one in a Patricia defense. So with that said, thanks again guys for joining us today. Don't forget to check out some of our other videos. We've already done a Frank Ragnow one as well, part 1 of him. There'll probably be 3 or 4 parts of Ragnow simply because of the tape that's out on him. And we're going to be covering all the Lions prospects this year, as well as, I believe, all of the Broncos prospects with Braden, and most of the Browns, Texans, and Bengals prospects as well. So thanks again, guys, and hope to see you guys again soon. Peace out for now.